Once upon a time, in a distant land where snow oddly covered the ground for the integrity of the year, a castle stood tall and proud. It was no ordinary castle. Intelligent, a good tactician, dutiful, and his sense of honor was so high that he never fought a pointless battle. "What business do you bring that requires my presence, messenger from afar? My homeland is losing war to usurpers, the kingdom of Sessos. We have been losing honest men because of their wicked intentions." "What intentions?" asked Smurfwolf. "They want to become the most fearsome and powerful empire that humanity faced and will face, intending to crush all surrounding nations for resources." Smurfwolf considered the messenger's words before saying to the steward, "Colombo, warn my father about my immediate departure." And so Smurfwolf called White and hopped on its back before starting his long and weariful journey to the other side of the continent, passing through the hottest deserts to the foggy swamps before at last making it to the golden forests and green hills of the Kingdom of Spite. He made it to the capital, Leafsend, that was settled upon a huge rock plateau, seeking an audience with the king. He went to the castle to meet him. After putting his steed in the stables and giving it the order not to feast on the horses that were there, he went to the throne room where he was expected by the royal family. By the end of their long meeting, they came to a conclusion. "So, said Smurfwolf, if I understood well, you want me to join the front tomorrow morning with other foreign mercenaries to defeat the oppressor's army, and then I'll be rewarded, and our kingdoms shall benefit from an oath-bound friendship." "Exactly, and you will be personally awarded for you'll have complete immunity inside of Spite's borders." "So, Morning Sword, do you consent to these terms?" answered the king. Smurfwolf nodded, and a bright smile shone on the king's face. However, as he exited the castle, his instinct kept bugging him for some unknown reason. How come the king rewarded so generously a little mercenary? It was true that he was a prince and a renowned warrior, yet Smurfwolf sighed and shook the feeling off. Maybe the tension of going to war was playing tricks on his mind. He walked in the town's market to grab something to eat. He browsed through the merchandise and spotted a pandemie, a magical specialty from the Kratos kingdom that can help a mind recover from mental fatigue. As he paid for the product, he noticed 3 hooded individuals that were staring at him. When they noticed his gaze, they quickly looked away and left the street. He pretended to look for another item, and they reappeared. It was as clear as the light of day. He was being followed. He went to a dark alley and waited a few minutes before saying aloud, "Whoever you are, you'd better show your face, unless you want me to take it off your shoulders." The hooded individuals appeared in the dark alley. What seemed to be their leaders spoke up. "You're far from your home, Morning Sword. What brings you away from the snow of your home? My business here is naught of your concern, and you should know that putting your nose on others' affairs can set it on fire." "Oh, look who's speaking. You're hired to steal our lands, and you give us a lesson on honor. Pigs have more dignity than you." "Steal your lands? You're the ones who are trying to steal resources to create your empire." "What?" The spy seemed to think for a second before turning to his companions. "The situation is far worse than we thought. Morning Sword, it may seem crazy what I'm about to say. We're actually the victims in this war. Spite had surrounded us, cutting us from the outside world before spreading the word that they were the victims." Smurfwolf let the words carve into his mind and carefully studied them before letting his conclusion out. "I believe you. You do. All my years of experience have gifted me with the ability to see through words, so I know when someone lies to me and when someone doesn't. I see. So now that you have that in mind, what will you do? I will go to the front at once and see the situation with my own eyes. And all those who had lied to me and used me for disdainful intentions shall know the cold bite of my blade. He parted with his companions and got White back, before riding to the Neymar plain where the battles took place. After riding for 2 days, he finally set foot on the Spite's army camp. The general was surprised to see him. "Morning, Sword. You were not expected until 2 days with the others. Was there a change of plans?" Smurfwolf considered his next words carefully. "Yes, I was urged to get here as fast as possible to—" A loud bang interrupted him as he felt the floor shaking beneath his feet. "What was that?" he asked. "The Trolk," answered the general. "The what?" "A beast that we tamed and educated for the only task of killing. We sent him to the main battle. But if he's close enough to hear it, then the enemy is upon us." "Of?" The general quickly exited the room in a rush, but Smurfwolf, the general's desk, were a lot of documents and papers, all confirming the spy's speech. It was enough proof to discriminate against the kingdom of Spite. He stepped out of the tent, putting the papers in his wolf skin, and stood still in shock. Death surrounded him everywhere as many soldiers were fighting. "Rah!" A terrifying scream tore through the bloodshed, and when Smurfwolf turned to see what caused it, "So that's the Trolk!" he exclaimed, for stood before him a gigantic troll-looking creature with green skin and a huge beard, tearing everyone who stood in its path with his axe. Smurfwolf saw this as an opportunity to gain Sessos's trust and reduce Spite's legion power, for he took his long sword from its scabbard and went to face the loathsome creature. It tried to strike, but fast was he as he plunged to the right, dodging its axe's fatal kiss. He then got closer to the creature and tried to strike its arm, but its flesh was hard iron, and the blade only bounced over it. The Trolk took this opportunity to send him flying with his fist. Smurfwolf hit the hard ground, stunned. The creature came closer, raising its axe to finish him, until White appeared behind it and struck it with its claws. The Trolk yelled in surprise and pain, allowing the Morning Sword to get up and take out a dagger that he threw at his opponent's eye. Half blinded and in pain, the huge monster lost focus on its target, and when he came back to his senses, the last thing he saw was Smurfwolf, who used this chance to get his sword back, jumping very high with his blade upward, plunging his blow between its teeth and cutting his neck like it was butter. When he felt his feet on the ground, he yelled at the surrounding soldiers. "People of Sessos, I am with you, and I partly freed you from your dread, as one of your most fearful foe has just been slain. I will go at once to warn the other kingdoms of Spite's treacherous betrayal. Hold your fort just a bit longer." The Sessos army shouted a big hooray before Smurfwolf departed on White's back. He met the army of mercenaries and battalions of foreign countries who came to help Spite with good intentions and showed them the documents he'd found in the general's tent. The ones who were called for help rebelled against Spite, and word got out to the other kingdoms as they made the traitors face justice, and all was settled down as peace and prosperity overflowed like waterfalls. And now, dear reader, you're probably greedy to know what happened to Smurfwolf. Did he make it home safely? Did he face danger along the way? Was he drawn to another epic quest? Well, let's just say that.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's Let's go. 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 Let's